Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com. Hi there. So what I tried to do is play a video called Cool Kids. And hey, welcome to the Cool Kids table, my friends. But what I discovered is that YouTube likes to mute that. They won't even just like give me like copyright strike. They're like, oh, no. We're not going to play any of the audio. Whatever. Well, greetings and aloha. What's going on? Live from the Big Mango about 8:49 a.m. over here and Christmas Eve morning. Hello, Joe. It is great to see you guys here. Yeah, I noticed that. I was a little disappointed. There absolutely was audio being fed to it. So I figured couldn't remember how that works. I know that Facebook would mute it out. I didn't think YouTube would, so that's a little bit disappointing. So I got to figure that out. And also, Merry Christmas to everyone if that's something that you celebrate. I'm honored to have you guys along for the ride. I got my 3-in-1 and very excited. Had a delivery yesterday. Got some 100, so that'll keep my sugar level high, which of course is something that I have a huge desire to do. In the background is Boracay White Beach, a place that I am very fond of, if for no other reason than that's where Gracie and I met. And I want to get to some of your comments here. Thank you guys so much for showing up early. I showed up late, so that gave it even more, right? Oh, my God. Seriously? Oh, man. You dropping like flies there in California. Mango, remind me. Newport Beach, Laguna Beach. I couldn't remember. Anyway, regardless, I'm sorry to hear that. Obviously, you know, it's a lot bad. It's pretty bad everywhere, actually. And sub them up. Thank you, Aztec. Good to see you, man. Morning, Todd. All right, man. The entire Cool Kids table is here, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Mack, aloha. Good to see you. And let's see. No, it wasn't you. It was the. I'm so bummed. It's like, look, dude, just don't give me money. We agree that if I play somebody else's music that I don't own, that I don't get any revenue from AdSense. Awesome. I don't want the AdSense. I want to play the Cool Kids table theme song. Anyway, so sadly you didn't hear it, but nonetheless. Cool Kids by Echo Smith. Great song, and one that was actually recommended by one of you guys. So, Jorg, hello, Mike, the LenTech.com team, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Ledley Tech, hold on. Let's check that out. L-E-D-I-E. Let's see what's going on over there, huh? LITEC. The Light Technology Company, LEDLITEC. Very cool, dude. That's awesome. I am using right now my my soft boxes use LED lights, and so I'm a big fan of those. So thank you for making the world a brighter place with a significantly less energy drain. I appreciate it. What do I want to talk about today? So there's a couple things that are going on, not the least of which is clearly Todd just bought a Christmas tree. So congratulations. Do I know where you can get a Boracay bag? Oh, boy. Well, unfortunately, I'm not producing them anymore, but I would love to be able to sell you one. The short answer is that you can basically get one that is of similar quality anywhere. That was sort of the deal when I saw them, because I was like, you know, all of these are generic. Like there's no brand name to these, and people, quite frankly, like to be attached to some degree of brand. So Gracie and I came up with the idea that, you know, we should have this thing, and I discovered these bags are incredibly popular in Boracay. So I thought, okay, great. These are Boracay bags. And people refer to these as Boracay bags because no one needs to, I need a lot of them refer to them as dry bags and that sort of thing. But that's like just always going to the store and saying, well, I just need some sneakers. No, I need some Nikes, or I need some Adidas, or I need, you know, right? And the goal was actually to make them in the Philippines by Filipinos for Filipinos. That was sort of the goal. And so I had this Filipino guy making them for me. But then what I discovered is he was essentially buying them from China and then just silk screening it for me. And so I thought, well, okay, that's great. I mean, I'm putting some money in his pocket, but at the end of the day, I can do that. I'm like, but if you're going to vulcanize them and you're going to make them here, then I'll. But it didn't work out, and he made he did the silk screening incorrectly, and so then it was just sort of like, So I had like, I don't know how many. Gracie's not listening right now, but we had, I don't know, probably about 20 to 50 prototypes. It was a fun project. I don't even think I own the I do own the domain borakaibag.com, but I think it like forwards to another one of my other ones. Speaking of domains, what is on the agenda today? So much. Oh my God, I'm having caffeine. So yeah, welcome. Welcome to one more topic after another, my friend. Great to see you, Dave. Thanks for coming by. There was I can't remember where I saw it, Aztec, but there was some guy who took a snippet of when you gave a super chat to one of these channels that, has the girls dancing, right? From Pattaya. And he totally called you. It was just like, it was really funny, actually. I thought it was great. But so good for you, man. Thanks a lot for making me laugh. Oh my God, you're my favorite sub, bro. Hey, good to see you, Born. Good to see you, Born Nomad. Speaking of domains, bkk.fm. So what I'm doing there is I'm trying to come up with a format that I think really has some teeth here, specifically in kind of Bangkok, but just sort of like Southeast Asia in general. And, I know that like obviously the real easy win, right, would just be to play Blackpink like over and over, right? And then get that, like, you can take selfies with them and say, Blackpink, bkk.fm, whoop, whoop. It's just like, okay, right. But I think bkk.fm, what I want to do is I kind of want to resurrect the format from like the 1980s, not the music necessarily, but the sort of really, really loud, in your face, high energy, Z100 type stuff, 91X San Diego, other stations like that really sort of defined almost like hit radio. But what I don't want to do is play songs that don't have a whole lot of they don't have a whole lot of I was going to say meaning, but okay, so here's the deal. You're like cruising along and you hear this song. And it's one of those songs where you're like, oh my God, I haven't heard this in forever. And it reminds me of ... Like at high school, college, undergrad, when I graduated, walking down the aisle, whatever, And so and traditionally those are ones that were ridiculously popular at the time. Like obviously there's, pretty much everyone in the world has heard the song My Sharona by the Knack. And then there's a smaller subset that have heard Good Girls Don't, which was the second hit off that album. And then there's River of Sighs, which has a great guitar riff to it, but nobody really knows that one. And that was from a later album, right? So the point is that I don't want to do this like totally AOR, which is adult oriented rock, which is basically like deep cuts into no, it's going to be songs that you absolutely remember. But what I want to do is I really want to have a platform that can really bring a whole lot of like radio back to radio, if you know what I mean. Like the most popular DJs in the world right now are the guys that spin in clubs, the guys that do like these monster shows, right? Like Tiesto and Avicii when he was alive, and chain smokers, that sort of thing. And so, but I think it would be really neat to be able to have this sort of pizzazz or this like sort of neat culture, i.e. a cool kids table of radio, right? And what really sort of brought the idea home for me is there is this radio station. I'll get the correct name of it, but it's 102.5 here in Bangkok. And they have Flex, 102.5 Flex FM. They have a studio in a mall. And they have this, the one wall of the studio, all of it is glass. And then they have, the equipment in there. And then there's the DJ in there. And they have a pretty neat sort of culture, I mean, again, it's commercial radio, right? So they they do need to focus on, like, you know, not being too inappropriate, so that therefore their advertisers will give them money, they can generate revenue and do all this. Anyway, so the thing that really just sort of put it over the top for me is like, okay, this is why this is needed, or this is why there is market for it, is because I want to say kids, but of course, every Asian is pretty much shorter than me, smaller than me, and always looks 10 to 15 years younger than they really are. Okay. So these could probably be young adults for all that. In fact, I'm quite certain they are young adults, because where the station is in the mall, it is very close to, hi, honey. Merry Christmas. It is very close to Siam, right? And which means it's also very close to Chulalongkorn. So, probably a whole bunch of college students, but the kids, let's say for the sake of it, they go in and they like sit down on the floor with their phones and their friends, and they talk and they stare at the DJ booth. And I'm like, okay, that hasn't happened in a while. I remember NBC, they put their morning show studio for the NBC affiliate in San Diego, like right on the street, right? So in other words, like the back of the studio was all windows and you could see out into the street, and people would just like walk by all day long, you know? They're just like, oh yeah, that's a TV station in there. And there's a couple guys like reading the news and telling us all about what's going on in San Diego. I'll just watch it tonight when I get home. I mean, there was no pizzazz. And there seems to be some pizzazz here. Additionally, have you ever been in a club or somewhere, right? And like they're playing, let's say, hip hop, and then right in the middle of, they play like a 70s rock song or an 80s rock song or something, and it's just like completely out of form, and everybody freaks out. Like, I would submit to you, like, you could be sitting there in a dance club all day long and they play an AC/DC song and everyone just goes bonkers. Maybe, I don't know. I got a buddy of mine, Eric, Minority Nomad is his YouTube channel, and he is pretty in tune with the culture and the flow and the popularity in various clubs. And I've never, well, okay, so I actually have met Will Ferrell because he did this promotion thing for us. So I have met him and talked to him, but I've never met the real Ron Burgundy. That character was a combination of a bunch of them, actually, that came out of probably the 70s in San Diego, when San Diego was really no one knew about them city. But yeah, I met him. There we go. Virtual hug. Unfortunately, only the text shows up, honey, not the emoji, you know, so but thank you. Thank you, Joe. Just so you know, honey, Joe was the first one to say hi to you, so he's awesome. So what I want to do is I want to sit down with Eric and I want to ask him, hey, like some totally random questions that he may or may not be expecting, but I'm actually hoping he's not expecting them. So it's going to be like, okay, dude, let's say we're in, it's the only one that just pops into the mind. I know it's not this super popular club anymore, but let's, for the sake of argument, Levels. So let's say you're at Levels and they're playing whatever they're doing. First of all, like, do they have an 80s night? Do they have a 90s night? Do they have like 80s nights where people dress up? Or is it just like, no, they play the music, but everyone just so good goes there and like the same? Do they have alternative nights? Do they have hip hop nights? Do they have rock nights? Whatever. Do they ever play live music, right? Because I want to get an idea, and Levels is actually a bad example because it's not like super popular. But, you know, insomnia type clubs, right, that are in this part of the world. I mean, as much as I hate Las Vegas, I will tell you that I have never been in nightclubs that do it as well as the nightclubs in Las Vegas. I mean, Excess nightclub over at Wynn Encore, it's the highest grossing nightclub in the entire world. They do $25 million a month. And however, not anymore. But I mean, you know, and again, with the whole like bottle service, everyone would, you know, I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of money. People overspend. And of course, it's Vegas, right? So people go there and they're one timers. They're like, you know, not like me. They don't go like 5 and 6 times a year like a moron for conferences and stuff. And so they go there one time, they blow all their money, like literally 2.5 months worth of paychecks, and they get bottle service and they pay like 10 grand for these booths. And they completely live like a total rock star, and then they have no more money. But it's a good time for them, right? Okay. And because of that, there is the panache of doing it at Excess. And there's also plenty of other clubs in Las Vegas. You were there last Sunday and Monday? Oh my God, dude, it must have been dead. I can't imagine. That's interesting. This was the comment that I was referring to. So anyway, so I'm going to probably, what I don't necessarily want to have to do, quite frankly, is go to any clubs around here. Here's why I go to nightclubs. I love the production value. I love listening to the DJ and how they mix songs together. I love how they do that to basically orchestrate the flow of the evening. And I learned how to do that years ago. And it was there were multiple companies that would teach a DJ like how to do it. Like you change the BPM, you increase the BPM you never play a song anywhere near midnight, which is like one of these songs where people are like, oh, yeah, that's a really good song. Oh, what time is it? Oh, yeah, we could go now. No. You want to keep them pumping all the way through midnight, because if you keep them at the club past midnight, then they're and this is in the U.S., not here, where people go out at like 11:45, right? But it was more so in the United States, specifically San Diego / Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, they went out later than in San Diego too. But the point is that you never gave them any ability to focus on what time it was anywhere near midnight, because that was always a really good time. Let's go to the next club, or let's whatever. You always wanted to keep them pumping and cranking all the way through to at least 12:30, because then they're like, it's almost 1. We'll just stay because it's almost last call. This is San Diego, basically. But the point is that, I like watching that. I also am a huge geek out fan of like the electronics that is used in nightclubs now, because of course it's 100% digital. And I mean, no, there's still analog like lights, like par and that sort of thing. But they have a lot of LEDs, of course, and a lot of it is, already choreographed. A lot of it, follows the music and that sort of thing. Anyway, I like the whole production value part of that. And so I would like to go see that. It would be really convenient if it happened at like 4:30 in the afternoon. But I'm pretty certain my buddy Eric's going to be like, yeah, totally, dude. I'll tell you what, like 1:30 in the morning, just meet me down on Soy 30. And I'm going to be like, I'll have to set an alarm. I'll have to go. Anyway, the reason I want to do that is because those are the people that absolutely have disposable income. And people that have disposable income are the people that you basically want to have listening to your radio station, because the commercials, for the most part, in the radio station are for people who have disposable income. Nobody needs a brand new car. But if you have disposable income, you're like, oh, yeah, I should totally upgrade. And then there are spots that are like what we refer to as the reminders. Like, in other words, Coca-Cola could completely cease advertising globally right now, today, and people would still know what Coca-Cola is. You would walk into the store, and if the last time you were in 7-Eleven, you bought a Diet Coke, likely you will buy another Diet Coke. But they have advertisements all over the place, like crazy, as if it's a brand new product that you've never heard of, but it's a reminder. It's like, look, there is Coca-Cola. We are Coca-Cola. We are not going anywhere. We absolutely own this entire globe. We sell sugar water. Not literally. Actually, they sell a brand. They sell much like Red Bull, right? And of course, now Blackpink sells Pepsi, right? So we'll see what happens with their market share here in Southeast Asia. But anyway, so that's something that I'm looking to do with BKK.FM. The other really neat thing, indeed, Roy, thank you very much. You know what's really cool, Roy, is I was like going, for whatever reason, YouTube reminded me of a live stream I did. It had like 700 views or something like this. And it was probably about 6 months ago. And you made a comment on there. I don't remember specifically what it was, but I remember I read it. And it was one of those deals where YouTube did not notify me of the comment. But it was a great comment. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that, because the other day it came up and I'm like, damn it. I'm not going to respond 3 months later. Yeah, you're right, Roy. That's totally like, thanks, Mike. Way to pay attention. So that bums me out about technology that doesn't pay attention to me. It doesn't make my needs a priority. Theme song for Patea, Patea. Yeah, me love you, Mac Mac. Maneater. I was never a big fan of Maneater. I know that was a ridiculously popular song. The other thing that I want to do is I want to, I think this might be an opportunity for like the guys that used to be the absolute kick-ass, sought-after DJs back in, the 80s and 90s, right? Guys that are in their 50s and 60s now. And I think it'd be really cool because, it's very easy to voice track a show from like literally the other side of the world. Additionally, I'm not just doing this because I want a cool little radio station in the world's greatest city, which of course is Bangkok. It's going to be on the internet. So I want to take over the world with this, if nothing else, because for some reason, the cultures of all other countries have this real big desire to be different in a negative way. And I think that even if this just takes 1% of the people that say to themselves, well, maybe we should all agree that like happiness is okay. And whether you do that by like swimming in the ocean or wearing a turban or putting a radio station in your living room or, you know, whatever, no matter how you do that, as long as it's not harming others, let's all sort of agree that we'll have that culture and there will be the cool kids table at Bangkok.fm or BKK.fm. Just so you know, there is a guy, he owns the domain Bangkok.fm. I reached out to him. He is a great guy. Like me, radio guy, loved radio, grew up with radio. He has a very decent format on there, actually, and it's very current. He has liners. He has imaging. If you don't know, imaging is basically the thing that sets the tone for the station, the image of the station. So the voice that's in between the songs, the way that they say things, the way that they intro, the way they outro, that sort of thing. As you know, and I played this before in another video, I'm a big fan of those guys that have basically 3 testicles. And so when they talk, it's like this. So I reached out to one of them who has been my longtime voiceover hero. He used to do KUPD in Phoenix, 98 KUPD. He's even deeper than that. And he got back to me. So I'm thinking of using his voice for this because it is over the top great voice. He speaks clearer and slower than I do. And I'm hoping he can produce the imaging for me. So I think it would be really cool to get him as basically the voice, as they say, of the station. Now, there will be individual like personalities that I want to bring in there. Anyway, so I'm molding this together. Right now, I just have a jukebox that's basically playing some of the songs, like literally 15% of the songs that I'm thinking about adding. And actually, there's probably about 20 songs in that list that I dislike that I need to remove. So I got to get to that. But anyway, it's just a BKK.fm. It's just a jukebox that's basically playing right now. So that's been a fun project to think about. And I'm really excited that this guy got back to me. So I like to travel back in time to that and hit the clubs in Miami with Crockett and Tubbs. So you know what's interesting? So if you guys don't know, one of the more common things that common thoughts in the mind of someone who's an alcoholic and a drug addict is that they really hate who they are and don't want to be themselves. And I'll tell you, man, when I saw Sonny Crockett, I was like, I want to be that guy. I want a boat, I want a crocodile, and I want to deal cocaine. And he was my hero. I had another buddy, his hero was the Marlboro Man. So he wanted to be the Marlboro Man. Man, you're straight. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Mike, I did a live stream walking along the strip. Was not many people. Some restaurants closed. Others limited access. Robert Macanasia. Awesome. Okay, cool, dude. I will check out that. Well, shoot. Well, no, because see, now I'm debating whether it was just a technical issue where I could not play Echo Smith. Nonetheless, Robert Macanasia. Ambrosia. Bum 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 bum. No. Here we go. Oh, dude, it is so vacant.
Where's Ben?
Well, to be fair, I mean, I've been there. No, that's pretty empty.
Corner. I'll show
For some reason, I'm only getting it streaming at like 360.
You got the X.
Anyway, yeah, I may play that later, man. That's kind of cool. I'll find some. If there's a specific spot in it where you remember you looked like all the way down, then let me know. That's cool. Thank you. You're a single guy for me? Well, thank God, because I've only got, Gracie in my life. If I ever want to switch teams, I'll double click on you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Almost most of the West Coast in Phuket. Oh, is like totally dying. Stock, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it a lot. It's pronounced Los instead, despite spelling it Las. Las Vegas or Los Angeles. Give me a live rockin' band and I'm happy. Nightclub's good for 5 minutes. Yeah. No, I mean, everyone's got their own. It was more of a market segment that I wanted to kind of like pick the brain of their behavior. their desires and that sort of thing based on, income. I'm not making a radio station to be profitable, just so you know, either, too, because that's a losing game right now, especially on the internet. The biggest mistake was leaving February. Oh man, I tell you. Again, Gracie left in March, and it was good that she did then, because there were some things that she took care of, not the least of which was her mom, which was great. But then, a couple months later, it's like, okay, well, all that stuff's done. So power can't have LED modules. Yeah. No, that's true. I don't know if I've seen incandescents in nightclubs in a long time. Usually it's the black ones that move, IntelliBeams. Is that what? No, that's not right. I can't remember what those ones are. But it's like kind of like this tube, not really, but anyway, they move all around and everything, and sometimes it's like a laser like thing, but then it like spreads out. Those are dynamite, man. I love those. Anyway, so I'm psyched to see that sort of production, and I'm quite certain my buddy Eric will be able to take me to a place. Because it's Spanish name. What is? Las Vegas? Los Angeles. Captain. Absolutely. Captain Crunch. Howdy to you, sir. Glad you're here. Wolfman Jack is dead. Yes. Okay. Trivia question. Was Wolfman Jack's real name without Googling it? And what lead singer of a famous band has the exact same name too? Wolfman Jack, 91X, baby. Never got to meet him. That would have been pretty cool. Used to have this a soundtrack on vinyl. Yeah, that was a pretty neat one, right? I am, as I hope is everybody else. There's going to be talk also. I haven't decided. Again, it's a 24-hour format, right? But I also want to say provide value globally. So it's like, what time zone? I mean, obviously, we're going to start off and focus on the Bangkok market because I think it's probably a really... Because they do things here that are sort of like they're no longer popular in the United States, not the least of which is like going to the mall. I mean, so my recent video was when I cruised over to Jongsilon shopping mall in Patong. I really got to go to a mall here and walk around because it is, well, it may, and again, it may be because I know that they super disinfected a couple of shops over at, oh God, it's one of the Siams. So you know how there's like Siam Paragon, and then there's one down this. It, like basically you go that, and then like down the street there's another one. I can't remember the name of it, and then there's MBK further down. So it's near that Siam area, and so for all I know, they're in the process of like closing those down. What up, cool kids? Welcome to the cool kids table, Patrick, as well as everybody else. You're welcome. Am I at home? Yeah, I am. I'm in the home studio. I am trying a couple of different things. Like right now, the video is through XSplit. XSplit is basically a piece of software that gives you a green screen effect without having to have an actual green screen. So that's one of the things that I'm testing out. The second thing I'm testing out is I'm also running all this audio through OBS, because the next thing I want to do is I want to see if I can, video through OBS. The next thing I want to see if I can do is can I run the audio through OBS? That's a little bit less elegant than I'd like. And so therefore I'm trying to find the most, elegant solution to that. So right now I'm just going basically this microphone into the mixer with a little bit of low end added and not much compression. But I would really like to be able to use the compression and stuff that's inside of OBS. But unfortunately, OBS basically only makes it really easy to squirt out the video, which is right here. The other reason I did that is because I have Pigeon Cam, by the way. But I think what I did, I know what I did. I was going to try and put the Pigeon Cam video in the background of, yeah. So anyway, so I was just messing around with the technology and that sort of stuff, as I like to do. Turn that frown upside down. MedTech, are you bummed? Oh, wait, hold on. I hate myself too. I'm not a drug addict nor alcoholic. I think self-hatred is very, oh my God, buddy. I really hope you don't hate yourself, because I'm glad someone mentioned that. I want to address that. If you guys don't know, he sends me pictures of wild successes, just so we're clear. And so, I mean, I get it. Trust me, dude. Self-loathing was like my default setting for a number of years. And here's what I'll just say has been my experience. And it didn't happen overnight, believe me. I found a few things to be grateful for. Not everything. I found a few, and then I wrote them down, and I made a gratitude list. And for some people, journaling in lists, that doesn't work. For me, it worked well. It may work for you. So I made a gratitude list. And then I decided to make one every single day. So I would either do it when I woke up or at night right before I went to bed. Usually at night before I went to bed, it was a good idea, because it was like, okay, what happened today that I'm grateful for? And trust me, many times it was like, okay, so like I have the momentum, I have the motion of my limbs. I can walk, I can see, I can speak, I can do all this stuff. And, again, there were times in my life where I couldn't do that. There were the times in my life where I was in like the ER and I couldn't speak. I couldn't feel like one side of my face. I couldn't see out of one of my eyes, and I couldn't anyway. So I have that faculty now. And so it was quite good. So I started doing those things. And what I discovered is that when I would focus on the gratitude, and I would have, I would be grateful. Now, this is pre-gratitude attacks. Trust me. I would be really, really grateful. And then like the next day or the next week or whatever, something like really good would happen in my life. Right. And I would submit that along the way, probably bad things happen too. But for whatever reason, I was just really focused on the good. And then I would get grateful. And I refer to it as sort of being on the path. And I know that sounds mildly religious. So hopefully you can take that connotation out of it. But let's say for the sake of argument, I'm on the path. And that's when I have gratitude. And when I have gratitude, I get on the path. And when I'm on the path, I have more gratitude. And honestly, I refer to it as the perpetual motion machine of awesome sauce. Because the more I focus on the negative, let me tell you, I could be negative Nancy all day long hanging out at Karen Beach. Not Karan Beach, but Karen Beach. Anyway, if no one has told you they love you yet today, MedTech, guess what, sport? I do. And I would submit there's plenty of other kids here at the Cool Kids table that are a big fan of you, sir. Just throwing it out there. I could be completely wrong. But I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. See, boom. And all you guys have already addressed this because I know how awesome the Cool Kids table is. You don't need me here. But I agree with the whole like live music thing. A lot of people prefer that versus clubs. I prefer clubs. I'm not a big live music guy. How far behind am I? It's 9:23 and I'm hitting comments from 9:15. I apologize. Oh, did I say Los Angeles? Las Vegas? I'm sorry. It's absolutely Las Vegas. Because it's femenina. Who is Wolfman Jack? Wolfman Jack was a very, very famous rock and roll DJ when basically rock and roll was first starting out getting played on AM radio. And he appeared in a movie called American Graffiti, which was a very popular movie years ago. I'm trying to think if anyone, let me make sure. I can't, I don't know if anyone has given me his real name yet. There you go. Good job. Good job. You Googled it. Hold on. Who said he Googled it? No, yeah, but then you Googled it. I told you not to Google it. That's no fun. Yeah, Robert Smith. And as Mr. Mitch said, That's the same as the lead singer of The Cure. Show me, show me, show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. Great lyrics, my friend. Great lyrics. Big fan. So that's Wolfman Jack. Now, Wolfman Jack is also one of these guys in radio that guys like me, kids like me, when I was growing up and I just obsessed about radio and I love radio. And I was what this one program director told me was that I was bitten by the bug of radio, which means I will do it for fun and for free for the rest of my life. And so Dorman says to Robert, hence the name. Yeah, when he works at the nightclub in KC, the Doorman. And you always want to be nice to the doorman, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here's the deal on that, Captain. If I have any trips planned, I don't right yet. The reason I'm back in Bangkok, actually, which is, I could argue, is labeled as early from my trip in Phuket, because I wasn't scheduled to leave and come back here till today, actually, the 24th, because I reserved a rental car for 1 week. And drove around and had a great time. Hung out with Todd and his wife, who he refers to as Anne, apparently. And I could have sworn that when I first met her name was Pet, like P-H-E-T kind of thing. But clearly I'm bonkers. Anne. Hello, Todd and Anne. So anyway, I was getting and hearing and believing reports of increasing levels of loss of flexibility in travel. And not the least of which is when I left to come back here Tuesday morning, early that morning, they, where you drive into Phuket on the one bridge, right? And they have like the entryway and they have like car inspection anyway. But they were inspecting every single vehicle that came in. Now, my experience with that is that the last time they started doing that, they didn't like inspect it a little bit and then decreased it within a day or so. Now, they increased the level of inspection and increased the level of difficulty to get in and out of the island. Now, I wasn't going to drive back home and I was already on the island. But that and a few other behaviors that I saw, I did hear a report and I didn't verify it enough, but nonetheless, it kind of like made me say, you know what, I think I should go back to Bangkok right now just to be on the safe side kind of thing. And that was that today, Thursday, they were potentially going to not allow restaurants to have dine-in eating. It was going to be takeaway only as some part of a sort of lockdown-ish type thing. And, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't like scared. I wasn't like, oh my God, the sky is falling. I was just like, okay, well, look, here's the thing. We don't have COVID in Thailand effectively, okay? Statistically. I mean, obviously, yes, it's here. But the point is that, relative to the 69 million people that are here, the number of people that actually have it is statistically insignificant, okay? And so they're not emotionally insignificant. Let me be clear. Statistically, it's not. So my point is that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cruise up to Bangkok because I can like lock down in Bangkok all day long blindfolded. I can literally stay in my condo all day, every day and have everything delivered that I need. There's internet here and I can do this, quite frankly, which is why I started doing live streaming in the first place, as did many other YouTubers because we were locked indoors. And I can be happy and I can certainly be safe. And I'm also within one BTS stop of a world-class hospital. I'm within 2 BTS stops of another world-class hospital. And I'm within walking distance to a very decent hospital. So, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this. So now that I've been home a couple of days and now that today is the 24th in Bangkok, in the Big Mango, I've decided that over the next couple of days, I am going to plan some trips, Captain. So I'm always open to suggestions. Now, the other thing, too, is that I live in Bangkok and like there are 1,000,001 things and places that I can go to in Bangkok, not the least of which I was talking about my friend Eric, right? So Minority Nomad. Now, he did this one video of this place on Ekamai. And they serve, the bowl of noodles with the pork and the dumplings and all that. He says this is like the best place in the town to go get it. And they open at like 5 p.m. Now, this video came out like 2 months ago, like at least a month ago. And I'm like, I'm gonna go there. And I still haven't. So that's one checkbox. Additionally, there's the train now that basically is owned by the BTS, but it's not the same type of cars, but it's a different route. that goes from the dark green line, I think. I could be wrong, but it's the green one, either dark or light, to Icon Siam. And so I want to go check that out because I dig that whole like river area. Additionally, the BTS, the light green, or the one that's near me, I can't remember what color it is, but regardless, the longer one, it's now been extended like 5 to 7 more stops. One of those stops is, I believe, the Royal Thai Navy Museum. Or anyway, the point is that there's like all this other stuff to do that, you know, is kind of interesting to me. And, so I may, you know, go do some of that here and do the infamous staycation. Because, you know, I mean, I'll wear a mask all day long. I don't mind that. And that's what we do here in Bangkok. So how was that for a short answer? My mind is mush tonight. I can't recall Wolfman's real name. Unsure time of day here. Oh, insert time of day here. Got it. Very nice. We should. Oh, seriously, a single guy? Yeah, that's your name. That's cool, dude. That's good that you know that. That's kind of neat. Googling crazy. Last name is dependent upon location. Last name is given in China, in Vietnam, because surname precedes given name. Correct. That's why I'm Kun Mai. I'm really stoked that you got the cure one too. See, look at that, dude. All day long. What up, virtual hug? Joe, you're so rad. Why? Because you're part of the cool kids table. I love you like a fat kid loves cake, Mr. Mitch. Buy him a drink first. Indeed. That solves everything. You guys know I'm just giving you a hard time. Don't forget, if I could drink normally, I would drink all day, every day, all day long. It's your mother, yeah. In-laws. The doorman saw your puzzle piece video. Glad things came together as you start your new chapter. Very nice. That's cool, Patrick. Oh boy. See, now it starts jumping around and I can't focus. Thank you, Mike, and thank you again for your email. It means a lot to me. You are more than welcome. Just so you know, my email takes incoming emails 24/7. I may not see them, but I can take your emails all day long. You're very welcome. Ever seen American Graffiti? He's the DJ in American Graffiti. So he was also one of these guys that I believe he also appeared on Happy Days. Does that sound right? I can't remember. Stock says he's to Mr. Mitch, I'm horrible about communicating, but always know I'm an email away. Absolutely, dude. Just an email away. Nathan, good to see you. Morning. I'm almost the only one in the office today, so I can get away with watching this. Well, turn it up, Just kidding. We are put on the earth to have a good time. Wolfman Jack. Did he say that? I did not know that. Good. I like him even more now. When did he die? I mean, I could Google it, of course, and I'm sure Wikipedia would give me the exact answer. Icon Siam area side is where I stayed for a month last year. Love the area. Want a condo there. Have a good walk around in a couple evenings. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Icon Siam is, it's gorgeous and brand new and expensive, right? Gracie and I were actually over there just a few days before New Year's Eve last year. We were considering, okay, what are we going to do for New Year's Eve, right? Obviously, neither of us, well, maybe it's not obvious, but I'll let you know. Neither of us drink. And, well, okay, because I can't. She can, but she just, chooses not to. She drinks, 3 times a year, basically. And so we weren't like, oh, my God, we got to go do a champagne toast or whatever. But we did come back to the condo. I believe we kind of fell asleep and then woke up just before midnight because there were some buildings near us. I believe it's called W District was the closest one to where we were when we were staying at the base and on Nut. They have a circular, a round top thing. And they shot off some fireworks from there. So that was cool. So we checked that out. And I think about 20 minutes later, we gave us each other a kiss and went back to sleep. So we're animals, man. Party animals, especially on New Year's. Great out walking, wandering, the bridge back. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And we totally liked it over there. It was amazing. And in comparison to today, it was pretty amazing how many people. I know he was on Hollywood. I did not know Wolfman Jack was on Hollywood Squares. I know Shadow Stevens was on Hollywood Squares. Big fan of Shadow. He's a bud. Will you be getting a stimulus check, Mike? No, I am not actually. Well, hold on. Because, okay, as far as I know, like they're just extending. I don't know what, I guess I don't know what they're doing. I didn't get a stimulus check before. So if the same criteria apply, then I won't get one now for the single check. As far as like unemployment, I don't believe I will get that either based on the numerical calculation of how you get it. So, but I'll tell you right now, I will give the federal government money monthly to stay here. And quite frankly, I do. I just do it once a year in April to be able to stay here in Bangkok because I love it over here. How about you, Robert? How about you, single guy? You getting one? And did you get the last one? And did it make a bit of difference? Because, I mean, what was the most, you get like $1,000 or a couple thousand? I don't think it was, well, I mean, I guess if you're married and you have a family, right, it could be several thousand. But, you know, that's interesting if there is an event that is disappointing for 3 to 4 weeks. I think we're in a longer disappointment. So the monthly income, like the unemployment extension stuff that they did, I think that was a wise move. Hold on, let me take... spilled my coffee, which of course is 3-in-1, which means I spilled sugar water all over my coffee table. But then again, why would it be called a coffee table, right? But of course, it's made by IKEA, so therefore all I got to do is smear the coffee around, and bam, top of it looks dynamite. They don't know what they're doing. Everything got put on hold due to a veto. Oh, so they vetoed the whole package thingy. Apparently, no one is getting one yet. Oh, okay, fair enough. Hope it's 2,000 this time. So like before it was more, or sorry, it was less. Again, $2,000 is awesome, but you know, I mean, it's not exactly a long-term solution, right? I'm gonna try and sit a little bit further back. My lower back hurts, and of course, I say that because I'm expecting a significant amount of sympathy from you guys. You like my Gay Earth shirt? This is February. Actually, I'm living in the future. He's working on March right now. I think he got a little lazy after January because there is way too much. There is like literally the whole right front side right here, just one piece. Just one piece of fabric. I'm like, dude, come on. You need me to walk over to your house with some scissors and start cutting up your curtains? Come on, man. So I had this guy. I was in, where was I? Surin Beach, and I'm watching sunset. This guy comes up to me. And I'm wearing a Gay Earth shirt because I'm gay. Hold on. I'm happy and gay this time of year. And so he said, "Oh, nice shirt, right?" And I said, "Oh, that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate it." And he says, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "Well, I'm custom made by this world-class designer named Earth in Bangkok." And he's like, "Yeah, I was just down the street. You know, they have these tailors here that make, you know, custom shirts. You should really go over there." I said, "Well, no. I'm not going to have any of these guys make me a shirt because this shirt will never be duplicated. There's nobody in the entire world ever that will own a shirt just like mine. That is the point." So he asks me, he says, "Well, you know, so I was getting these shirts over there for like 300 or 400, basically dollars, like, you know, 10,000 pesos, these custom shirts." I said, "That's pretty good." He says, "So what do you pay?" I said, "Well, I pay about 15,000 baht for mine." And he goes, "That's a pretty good deal." And I was like, "You think?" Because I pay less. But I thought to myself, you know, I mean, the only delta between what I wear and the fact, I mean, Earth is very talented as far as I'm concerned. He's just not as well known as other designers. And so hopefully he will be one day. And these shirts are going to be worth a fortune. Joe's not getting a stimulus check. Stimulus check, according to Mr. President. Okay. He said a sign in, right? So, yeah, 1,200. That's right. I remember that. First is 1,200, and no, since I made too much. Second payment is 600, but they are trying to put it up to $2,000. Wasn't the 600 like a monthly thing, like from unemployment? And then, well, no, because unemployment comes from the states, and so therefore it was just a pass through from the federal government, right? Which is better, 3-in-1 or McDonald's coffee? 3-in-1, as far as I'm concerned. And don't forget, McDonald's uses Arabica beans. I like Robusta beans. The 3-in-1s I buy use Robusta beans out of a company from Australia, as it turns out, Makona. And that's the one that I like. Never had 3-in-1. Many people don't like them, and I can completely understand why. There's a significant amount of sugar in them, but I like it because it's one packet, and it is, sweet. There's sugar in it. There's absolutely sugar in it. But the caffeine is also a nice Benny, and that's one of the reasons I drink caffeine. I drink coffee, rather. Somebody retired like you, Mike, needs that money. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to turn it down. I mean, come on. Throw money at me, that's great, but I'm also pretty aware of the consequences. That eventually, I have no fantasy that the United States will ever be debt free again. I think we're going to have this trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And just to be clear, the majority, i.e., at least 51% of all that debt that we have, we owe it to ourselves, right? So it's not like we owe China all this money. I mean, we owe other countries money, yes, and they owe us money, but. Anyway, 3-in-1 saved me in quarantine. Yeah, I can understand that. That makes complete sense. You got lazy. I have to say, this toned down one looks much nicer. Oh, you think? I don't know. I like the ones that are really loud and obnoxious. One of them has sequins on it. So I'm really open-minded with that one. Gomer Hack, I drink my coffee like my women hot and black. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. My mom watches these, so I can't tell you this really funny joke that Kevin Thailand actually told me about that. Kind of like that. I like my coffee like I like my women, without some other guy in them. But he said it in a much more vulgar way, which actually makes the joke a lot funnier. And of course, it's Kev, so he's rad. Joe P, another one who said you're getting around in a teardrop, a little one. Or a wrong person. Boy, I am really out of it because I don't know what that means. 300. Mike, you maybe found a good single mother, but do you generally advise against it since there are plenty that are not due to the various self-explanatory reasons? So here's the thing is that, well, first of all, like dating advice, I mean, that's different for everybody, right? All I can do is share with you my experience, strength, and hope and what I've gone through. And don't forget, like all of the relationships that effectively failed, meaning that I'm no longer in them, that occurred before I met Gracie, those were incredibly necessary amidst the disappointment or disgust or pain that I had to go through because it allowed me to be who I was so that I could be with Gracie, right? And, I would have said that like 3 or 4 girls before her, right? I mean, in other words, like 10 years before her, the woman that I was with, it's like, okay, well, whatever I went through before this allowed me to be in this one for X amount of time. And most relationships, so my long relationships, the longest one was 5 or 6 years, I think. So anyway, my point is that, I didn't meet Gracie, and then like there was that checklist that some guys have, which I don't think is a bad idea. Which is like, okay, well, if you have kids, then I'm not going to be with you. And I think that's a fine boundary that some guys make, but it wasn't really part of the thing. In other words, it wasn't something that I said was good or bad. It was just like something that she had. Now, when I met her daughter, I was like, oh, you're cool. So then it was kind of like, oh, man, this is a rad package, right? And so, I mean, and who knows? I mean, I could have met her and she could have hated me. She could be, oh, I hate all white men. There's no way you're going to be bad. Everyone in the neighborhood is going to hate you. You're not going to, I've had all these bad experiences. Every white guy that I see on TV is a complete jerk or wears a cowboy hat or whatever, And that wasn't the case. I mean, she's very shy initially, but then we got to talking a little later, and it was just like, wow, this is an awesome benefit. So my point is that long-term my infamous short answer. Find someone you're happy with. And happy, don't forget, the whole package is happy. In other words, don't find, it's not just happy like when you have a good first date. I mean, first dates are always good, right? And a lot of times they're so good that you're just like, well, I'm going to have a second one. Sometimes they're so good that you're like, this was awesome, and I am never going to hang out with this person again. And the woman or the man might say that, right? But I mean, my dating advice is not advice. It is just me sharing my experience. As far as, healthy relationship advice, meaning like not, necessarily romantic, I'm a big fan of setting healthy boundaries. I'm a big fan of taking care of yourself first, the infamous, the oxygen mask on yourself first. Because if you bring something to the table that's absolutely lame, and then you are dumbfounded at why this potentially new partner doesn't find you attractive in that way, well, then it's like, okay, well, then you got to look inward and say, well, why is that? Like, why is this the third woman that told me that she doesn't like it when whatever. She doesn't like it when I ignore her this way, or when I look the other way, or I don't make eye contact, or I always, on Saturdays I work on my car, and that's the day that we had previously agreed to do something, but because I do this on Saturdays, but of course I never let her know that, then I'm not, whatever, right? Or it's like, these are the things that I want to talk about, these are not the things that I want to talk about. And you can do that with men or women, so that's really the only sort of advice, if you will, that I ever give. Is bring the best you to the table. And a lot of times architecting the best you sometimes comes from being alone, but not lonely. Unemployment was an extra $600 a week till the end of July. Got it. Okay. So that was, and that was a federal thing, right? Like everybody got that. That wasn't just like California, Massachusetts, whatever. I think they're called sequins. It's whatever those like round things are, that they like sew on basically women's dresses. It's random pieces of cut fabric, right? And so he's a sewist, right? So he's like in these little pieces of fabric that someone just, I'm throwing this away. I'm not going to use that. So they found the blame for the new wave of the vaccine. Oh yeah. And I can't click on that because I'm looking at stuff through StreamYard. But if you're on YouTube, then you can click on that. So good. Little camper size one or full size caravan size one. I'm gonna go with probably little camper. I'm gonna go with little camper. I have a teardrop in the driveway. Really? You like those? Those are okay. Debt is dynamic. Joe P, I love living in my camper and boat. Life was so simple that really. How big? I'm curious. Because I mean, again, my apartment is only a condo is only 48 square meters, right? So, I mean, my one bedroom house in Coronado was only less than 60 square meters, right? If you do the conversion, obviously we measured it in square feet back then, but a vestibule. Is that the name of the is that, you go for the girls that are shy, don't you? Don't you, Hike? That's good. Joe P, I'm looking at getting a little one to take off on the weekends to do 52 vlogs a year with unique location in my state. Dude, that sounds awesome. That would be so fun. Todd is out, not locked down, and before they decide to need a haircut, make a trip to Chalong Pier. Good for you, Todd, and thank you so much for all the videos you do of all the different beaches, man. I dug the pier one you did. It was either the other day or yesterday or something. Thanks, man. And it's always great to hang out with you. He's a great guy. If you guys come over here, make sure you allocate the attention just to hang out with Todd and his wife, or Todd too, just by himself. Lived in it for 55 days, then back in the house. Oh, were you like remodeling or something like that? Yeah, I've had guys do that. Yeah, in August, Trump extended it and left it up to the states to add it if they chose to do so. I think I vaguely remembered that, and some of them did it for like maybe a month, and then they were just like, wow, this isn't working out. I wonder whether Reese will ever call you dad, and if she did, would you be comfortable? I'd be totally comfortable with whatever she wants to call me. She calls me Tito Mike, simply because it's like calling me Uncle Mike, basically, right? but it's not so much that. It's just sort of a, like, in other words, every kid in the neighborhood calls me Tito Mike. So it's a pseudo, it's not like respect sort of thing. I mean, it's not like they're calling me Mr. Somerville like I was a teacher, you know. Yeah, I would be, you know, if that would be something that she would be comfortable with. It would be okay if she was comfortable with it. I certainly wouldn't demand it. Captain, my captain, you know, I mean, stand on top of this desk and recite this poetry. Oh, Captain, my captain. That I would be very comfortable with. 300 a week, I believe. That was what they're giving the extra. Yes, I call it a vestibule. So nice. Has AC and a heater. Good for you, man. That's cool. Love you guys and be safe. Absolutely. As I said, is stuck. Before yesterday, I had 70 subscribers. Then suddenly yesterday morning, video I uploaded exploded in Japan. I had to sit there Google translating to politely reply to them all. Oh, good for you, buddy. That's great. I'll have to hold on. I think I'm subscribed to you. Easy. 7. Is that right? I may have typed it wrong. Everything would be peachy keen, wouldn't it? Let me make sure this is streaming on the other platforms. I want to. Oh, it doesn't appear to be. That's sort of annoying. I don't know why. Weird. I know that Restream sometimes is doesn't really. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, good. Because I want to see, like, if there's ever anyone else on DLive. DLive sometimes pops in, which is cool. It's live streaming on the blockchain, and I honestly thought that would take off more than it has so far, but unfortunately, not really. 70 CK. Oh wow, you got 352 subs now, dude. Good for you. Oh my God, look at that. 108,000 views on his last video. Good for you, dude. Oh my God. And oh wait, no. I'm sorry. These are videos you liked. Trump betrayed. Brilliant speech by Madison. Oh, that got 12,000 views 2 days ago, dude. Good for you. Congratulations. That's great. That's neat. A little too political for me. I totally, that is a boundary that I completely stay away. It doesn't add value to me. So yeah, that's great, dude. Congratulations. That's awesome. Oh, with a small kid. That's pretty cool. Nice work. Dead Poet Society. Yeah, it was a good, I love Robin Williams. I only got to meet him like socially once, and it was a lovely experience. He was very, he wasn't like on stage when I met him. So having lost him, meaning the world lost him, that's a bummer. Your channel's going to climb fast, Aztec. Absolutely, dude. Very cool. Is it a top? Yeah, it's a favorite. I don't know if it's a favorite. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Casablanca, but it's not. I mean, it's so irrelevant, really, to today, right? But I just love it. I love everything about it. I think that Lauren Bacall is the most beautiful woman in the world in that movie, kind of thing, just the way that she behaves and everything. But was also a fan of African Queen, but Casablanca. Dead Poet Society, indeed. Captain, my captain. Watch out, Mike. Didn't browse too closely. A Trump flag might poke you in the eye. Yeah, I don't have any opinion either way on who the president is. Whoever the president is, it totally really doesn't affect me. The only way it affects me is that when other people around me, good friends, seem to be disappointed either way, like whether it was before when it was Obama or now Trump and then Biden, who knows. But African, yeah, that was a pretty good one, right? I mean, obviously the cast was significantly less. The boat was actually a character, right? And but yeah, Casablanca, it's got some great overacting, arguably, right? I mean, but Mike, from your observations, what is the job market like in Bangkok for foreigners besides teaching? Well, okay, so here's the downside to teaching. If you don't know, most foreigners basically have to be paid 50,000 baht a month. But if you're a teacher, you're exempt from that. And so therefore, as a teacher, you can absolutely come over here and they can pay you less than 50,000 baht a month. So that's one drag about being a teacher as far as I'm concerned. And again, when we're talking about on teaching, I assume you're referring to the very sort of common way of people teaching over here, which is they get a TEFL or TOEFL basically, the teacher of English foreign language, and they teach English, right? It is specifically a school specifically designed for that. Some of them will indeed teach English in some universities. Some of them will teach it to high school students, that sort of thing. Personally, I wouldn't find any joy in that. I'm not that person. And that's why there are teachers. That's why there are teachers. That's why there are nurses. That's why there are doctors. That's why there are engineers. That's why there are DJs. Everyone's got their own sort of thing that they love to do, or at least are willing to get up in the morning the following day and do it all over again because it gave them enough joy. And sometimes that joy is simply the money that it gives you. Other times it's also emotional. So, but as far as the job market goes here for foreigners, I only can speak to what I'm visible, what is visible to me. And that's the technical, the tech sector, sort of the startup thing. And I don't know where you're from, Patrick, but let's, for the sake of argument, assume you're from the United States. I would submit it's probably easier for you to get a job in the United States. Now, there are global companies that are over here for sure. But I know some friends like that work at Agoda. I have buddies that worked at Dell, or that still work at Dell Technologies / EMC. And, you know, so that's probably the largest company that I know of here. I know guys that work for Amazon Web Services, but it's kind of like not really out of the Bangkok office. It's more of sort of the Southeast Asian region, Singapore office sort of thing. The short answer for me is it's harder to get a job as a foreigner here. So stay retired. I'm shocked there was a gambling in Casablanca. Shocked. Well, we've rounded up twice the number of usual suspects. Rick, I know you despise me, Rick, but because you despise me, nobody could smoke like Bogey. He was, yeah, Hepburn was amazing. Grace Kelly was the most. Ah, really? Okay. Good to know. I like the difference in opinion. My favorite black and white movie is 7 Days in May, a political intrigue thriller. I don't know that one. Stand by. I always have that notebook with me, right? So I can write stuff down that you guys tell me. Hold on, my back hurts. "7 Days in May." I bet if I go to Netflix, it's not available. Netflix is very disappointing. 7 Days in May. Bam. Boy, talk about a whole lot less white noise with the AC off. It's been so temperate here, man. I get up in the morning, I'm cold on the it's cold for me. Round up the usual suspects and start with the characters at the cool kids table. I completely agree here. That would be a wise move. Number one movies, Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I don't know. Not me. High Society. Stand by. Anyway, I was going to say Humphrey Bogart is the only person I've ever seen smoke. It's like, oh, wow, look at him. That looks like a good eye. I should do that. Everyone else is like, okay, yeah, he's trying to be a tough guy, whatever. But he smoked. It was like, God, he looks so good at it. Joe P. All Mel Brooks movies are my favorite list. Yeah, that's true. I mean, some of them are pretty funny. Hey, Joe, thanks for subbing. I am subbed, right? Yeah, I'm subscribed. So, okay, so why did I title the video the way I titled it? Because there is that discussion around people being locked down. And let me be clear, we're not locked down here in Bangkok. And as far as I know, the way that they're locked down in that one province is that, you're not really allowed to leave the province. But I believe you can get up and go out. There's a curfew, and if they put a curfew in Bangkok, I'm not quite sure that would be what they're going to do. I mean, we could, postulate all day long about what might happen, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot. They really seem to be able to contain this quite well. I think I got a report yesterday that there were like 53 new cases or something like that. So it wasn't like, oh my God, there's another 1,000 and then 2,000. It seemed like they had it under control. Well, I can go to the John Hopkins, right? That is where the most, in air quotes, accurate data is. That was the one. It's funny. I actually remember that that was a website that I would go to regularly on my previous live streams, because it was like, hey, so like, what's the, what are the trends looking like for the John Hopkins the site? So I'll tell you what, let's do that, because I'm an expert at screen sharing. It's what I do. It's how I roll. There's no audio with it, so I don't need to share the audio. And let me make sure. Let's see what I got here. I will do this. All right. So 78 million. I think the last time I shared this website on a live stream, the 78 million number, I think it was like 1 million. I don't even know if it was 1 million yet. Anyway, let's go down to Thailand and see what they got going on. The graphs they give are fairly let's see. I think Thailand is in the thousands. For some reason 3,000 is what pops into mind, but it could be 5. Yeah, okay, 5762 total. And then this graph is kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, so down here, right? So yesterday there were 2 days, wow, for some reason they haven't updated this. So on the 21st, there was the 809 new ones that came. The day before that, I believe there was 0. And then on the 19th, there were 576. So at least that's what is being reported. But of course, again, the last piece of data is from the 21st. So anyway, I'm quite confident that Thailand will do the correct thing. At least that's been my experience over here. And while there are inconveniences that show up, I will tell you that I've never felt unsafe. And I really feel like they're doing an excellent job over here. So you've probably seen parts of 7 Days in May. Charlton Heston plays a general in the Army. Kirk Douglas plays one of the junior officers. Wow. Okay. I don't remember any of that. But you guys may have. No way they could make that today. I know, right? I think Thai companies must employ 4 Thais for every foreigner. So the short answer is that's basically correct. But again, I'm in sort of the startup sector. If you get your company sort of registered through the BOI, through the Board of Investment, and you then, what many people refer to as, you then have a BOI company, they're exempt from that. You still have to get approval for each person's work permit, much like you do at other companies. And I actually have all that. I have all that approval. I have all I gotta do is leave the country and go get the visa and then come back in. Piece of cake, right? Yeah, sure. Hey, Gracie, what do you say we go over to Cambodia for a half an hour and I get my business visa with my work permit, which would be a 2-year business visa. But to leave the country and come back, it's not a piece of cake, is it? So I'm still in my retirement visa, which is another reason I have no desire to earn money from earn money from YouTube, because I'm not working. I'm retired. Patrick is in the U.S. working in business analytics at JP. 29 makes it difficult to get jobs overseas because it's more cost efficient for companies to hire local. Oh, well, sure. Yeah, of course. Business analytics. So I'm assuming you can do your job from home, right? Or not necessarily from home, but remotely, right? I assume you like VPN in kind of thing and use their tools for business analytics. It must be a pretty good gig. I've heard JP Morgan is a pretty decent culture to work in. I have friends that work at Visa. So I don't know whether they're sort of a very similar culture, but I think I have heard that they are. High Noon. Now, High Noon, if I'm not mistaken, is that a John Wayne movie? I don't know. It sounds like one that I thought was a John Wayne movie, but thumbs up to Single Guy, buddy, with High Noon. To Catch a Thief is my Grace Kelly movie. To Catch a Thief. Are these all like what, from the 50s, 60s? When was Casablanca? Was that in the 40s? To Catch a Thief. I like To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, I know it was a book, but I also like the movie. The jerk was Steve Martin. I agree with that one, Stuck. That was actually a fairly he hates these cans. He's shooting. That's a great movie. Forgot about, yeah, big time. The Big Year with Steve Martin. Oh, I don't know about that one. Robert De Niro makes smoking look cool in Casino. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, he was really good in that, wasn't he? I think the cases yesterday were 43. Yeah, okay, that was maybe what I saw, Roy. I thought it was, what did I say? I said 53. Was I wrong? Sorry about that. But yeah, Gary Cooper and then Joseph. Oh, 55, really? 42, Casablanca. That's great. Wonder how long it took them to make that. Wonder where they made it. I mean, I wonder if I don't think any of it was shot in Morocco. Maybe it was all backstage. Who knows? What if they're all in the global information network where I could answer these questions with very little effort? 22 of you guys watching, by the way, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm not really concerned with thumbs up. If you'd like the thumbs up, that's fine. But I removed the numbers of them because the number of thumbs down is, well, quite frankly, irrelevant and and distracting. And so therefore, if you'd like the thumb, that's fine. It doesn't improve or detract from the quality of my life either way. So I just wanted to clarify that. Best friend who now passed away. I had a going joke between us about the cans. He hates these cans. That's one bad thing about having direct TV anymore. No access to Turner Classic. Yes. You remember Turner Time? You remember when Ted Turner came out with his network and things were on Turner Time? They used to start at 5 past the hour. Interesting way to show off your ego. High Noon 1952. Be right back, Joe. We will hold our breath, my friend. Yeah, I haven't been. I mean, honestly, like the amount of sort of TV, if you will, that I watch is for the benefit of just shutting my brain off, quite frankly, and just being, full on monologue and not doing a whole lot. And right now I'm like on season 10 or something of Grey's Anatomy. And the only reason I'm watching that is because it's, it's entertaining enough for me. But I mean, the characters in it are pretty ridiculous, right? But, some of it's it's entertaining. And again, it passes my time and it shuts my brain off for the last hour of my day, basically. And if you were to ask me, what happened in the last episode? I have no idea. No idea what happened in the last one. I mean, I vaguely remember spots around, like Christina did, whatever. And then Owen, I had literally forgotten the name of that guy until just now. Owen, yeah. I can't remember the black guy, the chief. I can't remember his name right now. Burns, maybe, or something like that. But it's not relevant. It's just something that sort of passes by. And I say that because, unfortunately, because of that, I don't really watch movies, and I know that there are a ton of really, really good movies, and so therefore, I guess I'm missing out on that. But Patrick says working remotely since March, trying to keep it that way. Basically, just helping departments gather necessary data, clean and analyze it, and then give them the business insight. So are you considered a data scientist? Because I know that is a very sought after position in today's world, and one that sort of is the bridge between human data and AI and ML, right? I mean, isn't that sort of what the data scientist does? It's sort of, the cleaning of it arguably can, it needs to be, that cleansing needs to be designed by humans. But I think the actual computation of it seems to be able to be accomplished by machine learning and artificial intelligence. A buddy of mine works for a company that I think does that really well, called Snowflake, actually. And they can analyze data very quickly using the cloud, which I'm a big fan of. Grace Kelly made 3 films. Alfred Hitchcock, got it. Dial M for Murder, Rear Window, and To Catch a Thief. All great movies. Yes. Okay, I remember that. I haven't watched an Alfred Hitchcock movie in forever. They're kind of, for me, they're kind of boring. I don't know. It's just me, you know. Patrick, would be great if you could continue much more free. Yeah, good job on the working remotely, dude. That's pretty awesome. Because again, unfortunately, you'd be working like, I had a buddy that did that. He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to do whatever he did online. Then I'm going to come over to Bangkok. And he came over to Bangkok and he was all excited and he was living over here. And then of course he ended up working from, 9 p.m. until 4 a.m. because he was doing basically, you know, East Coast relative banking type stuff when the market was open, as they say. So yeah, he could, you know, get a little bit of a start with pre-market, and then, you know, by the time if he didn't want to stay up all night long, he could set his alarm and get up for post, you know, aftermarket trading. But he was like, okay, this sucks. I'm working in the middle of the evening. Woohoo! Thanks for coming back, Joe. Appreciate it. Haven't watched the new movie in years. Yeah, well, me neither. A year. The only time I watch new movies is when Gracie and I go to movies, and we like to go over in this part of the world just because the experience at the theaters over here is much better for the money. Oh, look at that. Thank you so much. Mango smoothie, Born Nomad. I really appreciate it, my friend. Look at that. Just technology just jamming up there. That's another reason I'm using OBS, actually, because I wanted to be able to have that acknowledgement show up. I genuinely appreciate it, sir. Thank you very, very much. And as you know, I actually spend that money on smoothies. Sometimes it's me. So recently, it was me and Todd for a while there. And then Joe, thank you so much for your smoothie money as well. That went to that. But yeah, dude, thank you very much. I'm honored by that. Thank you. And I'll put it to good use. So let's see. Okay, so 449 Australian after Google takes their cut. It's about 150 baht, dude. Okay, so I can get like, so 150 baht. I can buy I can buy 6. Yeah, I can buy 6 coconut smoothies that I get down the street from my coconut smoothie guy. So, you know, you think, oh yeah, I'm only giving them a few bucks, dude. That is a week's worth of smoothies if I get one every single day. And there were days like when I live here, every time I walk by this guy's stand, I buy a coconut smoothie, and then I go boop with my little QR code thingy. So it's always 25. So it's perfect, right? So thank you again. I'm really excited. Oh, I'm gonna buy one today and be like, oh yeah, dude, this is my Born Nomad smoothie. No big whoop. And of course, you know, the guy that makes it's gonna be like, Michael Chai. He speaks less English than I speak Thai, so read that as a big goose egg. Yeah, same with him not watching movies. Marrowbone, very good movie. Okay, Aztec. I'll check it out. You know what's awesome? Awesome. You hear me then? Every now and then the Boston comes. Oh, Joe, look at you, dude. Thank you, buddy. I'm honored. I really appreciate that. That's great. So for US, that is that's about 150 baht right there, dude. So that's another week worth of smoothies. Guys, for the next half month, I have smoothie. I have Joe and I have Born Nomad smoothie right now. This is gonna be an amazing month. You guys are so cool. Ooh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, what was that? Umbrella Academy. Mandalorian. Okay. Well, the good news is that I'm going to be able to refer back to this. So it's TV shows. Umbrella Academy. Do you guys hear the noise, by the way, as well as the visual? I hope you do. You might not. Maybe you don't hear the ringing bells. Umbrella Academy, and again, that's the reason why I'm a little bit disappointed that the Cool Kids Table thing he didn't play. Mandalorian. Thank you very much. Actually, you know what? I can test that since I'm sitting here on my butt. Wait, hold on. Dude, what? Are you kidding me? You sent me $31? Did you mean to do that? Oh my God, dude. So if you didn't mean to do that, that's fine. I think you can get, but that, dude, that's 1,000 baht, bro. that's 40 smoothies, bro. That's an entire month of smoothies. So thank you very much. And again, if you guys heard the jingle, thank you, dude. That's a lot of money. I think that's the largest. I think that's the largest super chat I've ever gotten. Which is here's what's really neat about this. So you know, Gracie, she'll come into the chat sometimes, right? You like the sound? Cool. Because I was thinking, well, I mean, it's the generic one. Maybe I should do. But again, Joe, thank you. And then Single Guy, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. I work with data scientists, but wouldn't consider myself one. My job is descriptive and looks at the historical data to provide the immediate business insight. Well, a data scientist is perspective using ML. Yes, agreed. Very cool. And man, I just thank you a lot, my friend. That's very cool. CPA here in Chicago. I can certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'm sure that's the thing, man. Oh, that's good to know. It's always good to have a CPA in there. I have a CPA / money guy that's out of San Diego. And because of the last, I mean, I think he's done my taxes for the last 25 years because it was his father's firm initially. And then he took over and then he was working on my and then his dad retired and now he's the head of the firm. Or it's like one of those firms. It's like three names, right? Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. What's the name of the place? I can't remember. Oh yeah, two Blitzley, and but nonetheless, he does that. But you know, I was considering hiring this company to do my taxes because I live over here. Let me see if you have ever heard of them. And I don't believe they're CPAs. They're more like tax attorneys, I think. But they focus on the international market and Castro and Company. I had an interview with them and they seem like they're really with it. And it seems as though they could potentially, you know, give me some ideas on ways to save. But anyway, I'm not sure whether your focus as a CPA is on taxes and that sort of thing. But yeah, absolutely. I know. Well, and here's the thing too, is that $31 is a lot. So 1,000 baht is a lot over here in the sense that, you know, I can get a ton of street food. Okay. But, you know, I mean, I can't go a pair of Nikes for 1,000 baht. But the point is that, the amount that gets you here is so significant compared to like if I was living in San Diego and some guy gives me like $30, I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. At least like, you know, I'll pay for, you know, probably a third of my meal that Gracie and I go get. I mean, it's really that ridiculous. I remember when I picked Gracie up from the airport, right? First time in the United States, first time in San Diego. So we drive from San Diego, we go over to Coronado, we put her bags away. She's hungry, of course. And I'm like, great, it's lunchtime. Let's go get something to eat. We go down the street and we go to Burger Lounge. So I get a salad and a burger. And the salad was $26. She was like, that's not pesos, right? I'm like, no, it's not 26 pesos. It's more like, you know, a couple thousand pesos for the whole meal. But yeah, anyway, that's very generous of you. The back half of Will Smith's acting career has been a flop. So the more recent one, you mean, or the original? I don't think I've followed him. I'm trying to think the last movie I saw him in. Maybe Men in Black or something like that, or Men in Black 2 or whatever. Yeah. So I can't do super chat, so it's PayPal for smoothie and somtam. You can't do super chat from Florida. It might. Oh, well, maybe not. You just can't. I mean, in other words, I'm sure technically you can. I know that you can. I know if you live in Thailand, you can't super chat me. For some reason, there's an issue with that. If you use a Thai, PayPal account, right? Whatever. And no requirement for you to do that. Or you can also, just so you know, it goes through PayPal if you go to just buymeasmoothie.com. Same thing. But again, not a requirement, but thank you guys very much. Both CPAs and tax attorneys can represent your best interests with the IRS. A tax attorney is generally the better choice if you're involved in trouble with tax authorities, in your opinion. So I've only been audited once, and it was actually, the audit came in this year. They were auditing me for 2017. And I went through my tax guy and I said, okay, so what's the deal with it? At the end of the day, I just simply paid them because that was infinitely simpler. And then, the other thing too, is that it's look, the only way that the IRS is going to ask me for more money is because I made a decent living. They're not like, well, Mike, you only made $10 an hour. You basically owe us $11 an hour, kind of thing. I mean, come on. So, while there are manipulations, let's just say, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but yes, there are manipulations that you can do to your income as well as expenses so that you will pay less income taxes. I'm a fan of paying my income tax. Actually, I don't have a problem with it, provided it's not a ridiculous amount. I take the absolute legal. I don't bend the law. I don't, that's why I have a tax guy. I like it a lot better. It removes any emotion from it, and it's just like data and fact. And so that's kind of nice. Yeah, well, that's good to know, Single, because maybe what I'll do is I'll interview the Castro guys again, and be like, okay, so look, guys, this is the first year I've been completely out of the United States. I didn't have any foreign income, so it's not like I can do FEIE. I can't do a foreign earned income exclusion because all of my income came from income in the United States. In other words, I allowed my money to make me money, right, with investments, and so anyway, I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to. The nice thing is what you do is you just give them all your information, and then they present you with a proposal, and you can either accept it or not. And then if you accept it and they file for you, then I believe they take 10% of your return. I mean, it's a very reasonable type of thing. It's not. Whereas my current guy, it's it's kind of based on attention units. So I think I spend $350, $400 a year, and he just does it. And he's in California, and he did verify with me. Now that my address is in Massachusetts, he can actually do it. He can do my Massachusetts taxes as well, file those for me. So, Mike, on the radio station, are you going to be advertising drop shipping? Well, of course, as you know, Joe, it's really the only way to make any money online. However, I'm not sure whether I'm willing to relocate to Chiang Mai. So it's a tough call. Tough call. My mom was a CPA. She still helps me. That's cool, dude. That's awesome. Just once, 4 times here. No noises here, even with my trusty old Sennheiser cans on. Oh, when I go. Oh, no noises here. You mean when someone does a super chat, you can't hear the noise? See, that bugs me because I've got it going through the mixer. As far as I know, I have it going through the mixer. Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't. Hold on. You know what I need to do? I think I need to do Streamlabs alerts, and then I need to go into properties, and then I need to go control audio via OBS. Actually, no, that's not true because the speakers. That's interesting. The audio that goes into the mixer should be what you guys hear. Now I'm very curious. Whoa. Oh, not only is this amazing. Okay, do you hear this? It's going to come in a few seconds here. Oh, come on. Okay, did you hear the brrring? 1,000 baht. Dude, Johnny, thank you very, very much. I mean, that's just, you guys are blowing me away with your generosity. I mean, I really, it's neat, man. I want to go do something for you. I mean, other than, hey, look, I'm doing a new video. But yeah, so that Born, I mean, I'm quite confident you're totally versed in using audio, because otherwise you'd be like, yes, Mike, I'm listening to you via the Braille method. No, I'm actually using audio. So, apparently changing something on my Google account now can get in. Oh, well, I didn't want to give them 30%. Yeah. No, that's totally cool. I can understand that. That's your best question back. Yeah. There you go. Nice, man. Thank you very much. And Johnny, thank you. I actually don't recall seeing you. Is it the Denmark kroner? I can never remember what the DKK is. Danish krone. Sorry, that's how you pronounce it. Is that how you pronounce it? Danish krone, not the kroner. Thank you. That's great, man. I'm honored. That's really cool. I heard the dings when you get super chats. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Because I'm like, I thought that's what's supposed to happen. Yeah, Danish. Cool, man. That's really neat. That's totally awesome. Mike's heard some bells for super chats, but not all. Heard your test bells. Ah. All right. Well, hey, who knows? Maybe they're coming through. Maybe they're not. No, I was talking about the background noise. All the alerts are fine. Aha. So you don't hear anything when I go. You should probably hear a little bit of that. These are Sony's, dude. I'll tell you what. I've had Sennheisers, and I like them quite a bit. But these Sony... Sorry. Let me show you. I know that you've seen these. These have been in the business for years, right? And so I've been using these on the air for... I don't know. This is... Whoops, sorry. This is there's a loose part at the top of this microphone. It ticks me off. It's not grounded properly. Whose fault is that, Mike? I'm the one that took it apart. Mike, do you know how to solder? Yeah, oops. But of course, if I manually move it, right, then the grounding is appropriate. So it's like nice cold solder joint, loser. But anyway, so I think one of the things that I will do with all that money is I don't know. Let's see. I can do smoothies basically through March now with all of this. But the other thing that I can do is oh, Joe, I'm sorry, did I miss your super sticker? Hey, does super sticker not show up? Did the super sticker not show up? Let me go over to Streamlabs and find out if I have that. I should have that checked for my Streamlabs boxes, is what they're called. It's in the widgets. So interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that showed up, Joe. That's kind of a drag. Ticks me off. And I like Streamlabs as far as, the options that they provide. I don't particularly like Streamlabs OBS. It's bulky, and OBS is 100% free, right? But then when you get Streamlabs, yes, the download's free. But when you want to do other stuff, it always seems like, it doesn't really seem like it's worth $19. All right, so let's see what I have checked. I have checked for notifications, super chats, pledges, merch, cloud, and the only reason these are here is because it's just the default, and I check them all. Streamlabs Prime gift. So I guess super chats is different than super stickers, and so therefore that doesn't show up. Now, why would it not do that? I mean, there's got to be an API for the. Come on, man, that's like 80% technology focus. Joe, thank you very much, buddy. You're awesome. Where am I with the comments here? Indeed, sir. Absolutely. Thumbs up, my friend. Yes, it opened up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Good. If we can make your life better, there is no better feeling than oh my God, seriously? Dude, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, gratitude attack, just so you know. You've certainly entertained me during this pandemic. My body must be, oh man, I'm honored. That's very cool. It's funny. I haven't done any live stream. my live streams in a while. And you know, there's a couple reasons for that. One is that like I was traveling, and at 9 in the morning somewhere or 8 in the morning somewhere, I'm like, nah, I pretty much want to go to the beach and stare at my foot. And so I would do a little bit more of that than live streaming, obviously. But, you know, as you know, I have this bitchin' new laptop, right? That's got like 2 GPUs in it, and the CPU is outstanding. And it's got 16 gigs of RAM, which I never seem to hit the rails more than about 12 or 14 gigs of usage, which I'm very pleased about. Why? Because I don't run an Oracle database. The other thing is that usually I like to really get out in the day. And so therefore, like I do like to be outdoors in Bangkok at like about 7 a.m. It's cool, man. The city is coming to life. It's not really deathly hot out. And just to be clear, I say things like, you know, negatively about potentially about, you know, the heat. But let me be clear, I adore the heat. I mean, 105, 100, and I'm sweating. I am more than okay with perspiring. That's how God planned it. We are the world's most efficient swamp coolers known to man. And I love that. And the good news, for whatever reason, is basically if I take a shower pretty much every day, and, you know, and there are some days where I just like, you know, like I'm doing whatever. But for the most part, most of my 99.9% of my life, I take a shower at least once a day. In Thailand, it's usually twice a day. It's usually in the afternoon or before bed, like after I've come home from walking outdoors and I'm sweating. But for whatever reason, when I do sweat, I don't smell. Now, I also, and let me be clear, I wear deodorant. I do not wear antiperspirant because that is weird. That's like tying yourself in a knot and like not having, you know, not going to the restroom. What? So I don't understand why. I understand why it's available to people. I understand the reasoning behind that chemical, putting that on your body to basically change your outward appearance. But for some reason, I don't like sweat significantly such that I have like, you know, the big pits or whatever, but I do sweat. And for whatever reason, I'm lucky enough that I don't smell. And so that's awesome, because I can tell you when I'm on the BTS and someone else's body is not like that, I'm like, okay, I tell you what, dude, why don't you use the handle on the seat? Stop raising your arm and using the little thing up there. So that'd be a lot more helpful for me. The other thing I like about the BTS being bald is that all I got to do is I got to find a vent. I just stand right under that vent, man. I cool off within 2 stops. I'm cooled off. It's great. So good. I'm glad that the sticker came up on YouTube for Joe too. That's very cool. It's supposed to be 28 there Saturday morning. Right now, I don't know if it's 28 right now. It's probably 24, 25. Let me see. Oh, my buddy's coming back on a train, one of the sleeper trains from Chiang Mai. And no, he's not a drop shipper. Oh, Joe, you also sent me $5 on PayPal. Dude, you guys are awesome. Thank you very, very much. Well, sorry. I know just so you know, it came through on PayPal, but Joe bought me a smoothie on buymeasmoothie.com. There we go. Oh, let me change it. I had it in Fahrenheit because I was talking to my buddy back home. Yeah, so right now it's 27 and it feels like 29, and I am more than okay with that. And I am inside. I got a fan on me, but I don't have the air conditioning on. That is my fantasy lifestyle. Just a fan, nice and warm, but like not hot, maybe sweating a little bit. But man, I just, but not having to use air conditioning. And I do use air conditioning pretty much. I think it helps me, or the majority of the time that I'm using it is at night to sleep, you know, because it makes it a lot easier. I also like that after a good workout. Indeed. Wait, the BTS isn't too cold? So I will tell you that long rides on the BTS can get to me. The recent one, the longest that I usually will go on the BTS is what I did when I got home recently. So when I get home to Suvarnabhumi, if it's in the middle of the day, and you know, then I usually take the airport rail link from Suvarnabhumi all the way west to Payatai, which is at the end. And then I take BTS from Payatai down here to the Udom Suk area, to the Punawiti stop, which is about, I think in total it's a 16 or 17 stops. And I will tell you that by the time I get off that BTS, I'm like, man, this is too cold. But at first I'm digging it. But no, long rides, Cody, believe me, I am not into it. Oh, 28 Fahrenheit. Dude, ouch, brah. That's true. I mean, you live in northern Florida, dude. I don't know, man. I am honestly, if it gets below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, I am very uncomfortable. I'm not in a good mood. My joints hurt. It's just not me, you know? And there are some people that like, dude, once it gets over 80 degrees, I'm going to pass out. I hate it. It's too hot. My breath hurts. My eyes hurt. You know, some people aren't. But yeah, I am a huge proponent of 80 degrees and above. I don't know why my comments keep jamming the words together. I'm not typing it that way. You know what? It could be StreamYard. Let me take a look at it on YouTube. StreamYard is imperfect, and of course it runs via the API that YouTube has, and Google is notorious for having issues with their API. Sadly, via the API that YouTube has, Google is notorious. I got to tell you right now, I do not like the audio that comes through. That's the other thing I don't particularly like about StreamYard is their audio. Next stream I'm going to use OBS, and I'm going to have some nice compression on this microphone. And it's going to take a little bit of those artifacts out because that really bugs me. Let me see here. Yeah, so it looks MedTech, you have many fans. Thank you very much, sir. It's been doing it occasionally for about a week. Yeah, no, that's annoying, Stuck. I'm really sorry about that. It's definitely a StreamYard thing. But, you know, I mean, StreamYard does about 9 things really well, and they have limited features. But I like the fact that I can show the individual comments on the screen. So that's kind of cool. I can't really do that with OBS. So I have many fans. That's awesome, dude. Thanks. My fragile ego really appreciates you, Beth. You're awesome. 4 degrees in Denmark. Ouch, man. That is not cool. Is that 20 degrees actually? 20 degrees Fahrenheit in Boston area where my folks are. Not doing it on YouTube. It's been doing it occasionally. That's a bummer. I'm sorry that it's doing it on YouTube. 70 here, 10:30 p.m. Yeah, absolutely, dude. See, exactly. That's why I would basically live either where Joe is or further south. I'm a fan of the Keys. I was much more a fan of the Keys like 30 years ago when I first went there. When Key West had a significantly less number of condos. But I probably wouldn't live in Key West even back then. I wouldn't live in Key West. I was a fan of Bahia Honda is my favorite key down there. Marathon is also a good one because it's got, you know, like infrastructure, right? Like they have like a Home Depot and things like that. So, although I'm quite certain they have that in Key West now too, but they don't have it, you know, on Bahia Honda. Bahia Honda is cool. For the most part, though, it's just a national park. Camping was the main thing I was going to do there. Do I have any Christmas plans? So no. And in fact, it's kind of weird because like in the last couple of days, I realized, hey, wait a second. Like when I was like uploading videos and scheduling them, and then I scheduled this live stream, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm scheduling a live stream for Christmas Eve. What the heck? I mean, daytime, right? But I'm like, that's weird. Like Christmas is all of a sudden come. Like I kind of was in the mood, like I had the feeling that it was like December 15th. And then all of a sudden it was December 23rd. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. So anyway, plans, no. I don't celebrate it in the sense that like there's an exchange of presents any longer. I mean, that kind of died out by the time I was about 20 and then left home to move to San Diego. That sort of ceremony stopped because I wasn't physically at home with my parents any longer around that time. The present exchange that occurs this time of year occurs on New Year's Eve. And it's when adults, i.e. Gracie, basically, and me getting credit for something that she did, just really not appropriate, but I'm more than willing to take the credit. Oh, that's not true. I actually did get some presents for the kids. But for the most part, she's in charge of what is the most appropriate bollock. Is that right? The most appropriate bollock buying? No. What's it called when you Paso Lobo? The Paso Lobo that she and I would usually accumulate and bring back to the kids. She would give them some presents when we would show up, when we would get there, and then she would give more presents during New Year's Eve. That's when they would celebrate it in their home as well as in their village. And so, yeah, I mean, and even if Gracie was here, we wouldn't go out and do like a dinner sort of thing. Christmas is what's today? I love being retired. No clue what day of the week. Thursday. So Christmas is a Friday. So I mean, I know JC, or I don't like to say JC because I think a lot of times when I do that, my default setting to say JC is when I'm referring to JC from retirecheap.asia. So Jeremy from Do More Life, I believe on one of his streams recently, he said he's working Christmas Day, or maybe he's working Christmas Eve day. Maybe he's working today and tomorrow, or maybe not. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't believe that like the Thais have Christmas Day off. I know that. I spoke with the folks downstairs, and they're like, no, it's it's the 25th, and it's or rather they would be like, look, it's a Friday, so yeah, we're working. We work Fridays. So I don't have any special plan. I mean, I may, just like go to a mall or something tomorrow to see if there's any sort of. Oh, I did hear caroling last night, actually. And I'm in a very Thai neighborhood, so I'm not quite sure why they were doing it. I think it might have been my neighbor. There's the one building I live in, which is like an L shape. And then there's the pool beneath me, if you've seen Pigeon Cam before. And then on the other side of the pool is what do they call that building? Not the pool building, but they call it the other. Anyway, I think it's called like G building or something. I can't remember. Anyway, there's someone who lives basically across the pool from me, and they have Christmas lights out on their balcony. So maybe they were playing them or whatever. But that was kind of entertaining last night. So I may check out and see if they're doing like anything really. But it'll definitely be during the day, or I may end up, because I would assume that most of my like expat friends that are here, I assume they have something they're doing. So it's not like I'll go hang out with those guys, but I do need to ping my buddy Eric and find out if I can buy him some coffee and ask him some questions about like sort of music and the hip music and that sort of thing that the kids are listening to these days. I have here. I miss the warm weather and fresh fruit year round in South Florida, but not the storms. Yeah, I can understand that. And I know you shared some of the mishaps that you got into. Any plan to meet my buddy Chuck from, you mean as in Chuck and Paige? I don't really know those guys. So let me make sure I didn't miss a comment. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Any plan to meet my? Oh, no time to be sad, Chuck and Paige. No, I don't really have any plans for that. The only sort of guys that are part of that group that I've met are Foreigner Joe. But no, I've never met Chuck. I've never met Chuck and Paige, and they always seem to be a different place than I am when I'm there. Like I'll be in Prachap Currycon and they're over on, Kolak or something like this. So no, I've never run into him, but, yeah, I might seek it out. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Rob obviously is sort of as part of the Thai vlogger guys that us guys of our vintage follow. Rob is really my best friend in that whole group. Yeah, Sugarloaf Key is pretty upper sugar. Agreed. Those are very. Joe, what's the key that has the swim with the dolphins thing? I can't remember which one that is. Single guy says, how is Christmas there celebrated compared to the United States? Never been to Thailand. It's like the Philippines where they start in September. No, no, nothing is like the Philippines starts celebrating Christmas long before the United States celebrates Christmas. But no, I mean, in other words, over here in Thailand, it's effectively a very capitalistic presentation of Christmas. That's how I receive it here. In other words, I wouldn't know if it's Christmas just like sitting here, but if I'm in my neighborhood, I wouldn't know. If I go to a mall, then I absolutely do know. Because they do have Christmas trees, and all the malls seem to play Christmas music. Like the BTS plays Christmas music on some of the platforms. Like when there's the BTS platform, like between EM Courtier and Emporium, right? So they have like Christmas music. They have a whole. I mean, Central World has an enormous like Christmas display thing outdoors with it's got to be 50 feet, this tree that they have. And it's actually, so it's one of these trees that they have a frame, but they make the tree with like pine plants and what are those very common Christmas plants with green but red leaves? Is it poinsettias? Is that right? I can't remember. Anyway, so they'll use those in buckets, right? And they'll make like big trees out of that. So I'll have another tree from that. So it's very commercialized, and it's not bad in the sense that, I mean, it's sort of like a festive little neat presentation, but that's pretty much the way it's celebrated here, at least the way that I've experienced it. I've had no attachment December 25th since I was about, I mean, I look at it that way too, Cody. It's more, I mean, it's a kid's holiday, right? It's a time when, like, you give them presents. That's sort of the ceremony. As far as the religious significance of it for me, that's never taken. Like, I don't understand that. I can't internalize that. There's never been any sort of, attachment to it, to the birth of Christ, I guess. I mean, in other words, I'm so ignorant to it. What I've been told is the mild amount of research that I've done is apparently Christ was born like on like December 12th or something. I don't know. But it's the 25th, but I could be totally blasphemous right now to people that really sort of fall, but I don't know. I'm totally ignorant to it. And it doesn't hold any sort of importance in my life that way. I mean, if there's any religion that I'm attached to, that I get pleasure out of, that I believe I seek guidance from, or that sort of thing, or I get solution from, rather, it's Buddhism. And again, I'm very ignorant to any of the ceremonies that occur in that religion as well. As a single guy who is not religious, is pretty much a meaningless day with bad music. Yeah, it is not great music. I would agree with that. You know what I would normally do, like back home, is I would end up hanging out with my Jewish friends on Christmas Day, and we would go to the movies. That was my friends from South Africa, Errol and Brenda. I would end up hanging out with those guys, and for whatever reason, it always seemed like we ended up going to the movies on Christmas Day. Any plan to meet? Stuck and Cody following the same thing. You should meet Warren Gertz, aka Waza. He's a cool guy. That is a YouTube vlogger. Stand by. Let me make a note. Oh, I think my back is getting ready for two things: a massage and a chiropractor. Finding a chiropractor here, I think, is going to be a little bit less easy than it was in San Diego, California. Warren, I believe I've heard that name. Waza. Yeah, I believe I've heard that. I'm not quite sure, but I'll seek it out, man. Green Key is the one with the dolphins. Key West is a dolphin encounter. Oh, they do? Oh, okay, nice, awesome. Maybe a Christmas live stream but with a Zoom style, but maybe not Zoom itself. A virtual barbecue. Born Nomad, that's a great idea. I actually don't really know how to do a Zoom experience without using Zoom. I'm a fan of and use this company called SignalWire for all of my VoIP solution, meaning I have like a US telephone number here, and I just plug it into an ATA, which is essentially an A to D converter that then uses session initiation protocol, SIP protocol, to basically have a VoIP telephone number here, which is a US phone number. So I use SignalWire for that, and they provide that, but I don't have any of that set up. So Zoom is the only one that I know that can do the multiple thing. That might be kind of fun. One of the things that bothers me though about that is, and I've seen other guys do it, is that the audio the ducking is horrible. And even the loudest speaking person isn't necessarily the one that's heard by all of the others. And so I don't think they do a very good job of that. And so that would bug me as you might. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Point status. September, Jesus was, really? Is that what the infamous good book says? I didn't. Wow. I've never heard that before. That's interesting. Atheism is the way. Christmas is the winter solstice. I think for whatever reason, I've always had the belief that the December 25th says somehow the day that people think, anyway, maybe I'm wrong. He's a YouTuber. All right, cool. Awesome. I'll check him out. Thanks a lot, Cody. I appreciate the recommendation. Monday, December 21st was yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I didn't think that the 25th has any degree of significance with how the world spins, but tech guy and a gamer. Very cool. I'll check him out. Who was the Alpha Gaming was the guy that I was following for a while. He seemed like kind of a good guy. He had good production quality for sure. He would review equipment, and I seemed to trust his reviews. He seemed like he was very with it. He was wildly successful on YouTube, and was also a wildly successful musician, I believe. That's what he did before doing live streams on Twitch, which then kind of rolled into him, being a gamer, right? And then doing live streams. So cool. I'll check him out. Thanks, Stuck. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the religious music gets me every time. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. That's pretty funny, right? Hey, guys. So you know what? Here's the thing. OMG. Here's the thing. I know that I'm only 2 hours in, which I know is a sort of short stream for me. But I want to proactively do something with my lower back that involves taking care of it. So for 19 of you who are still watching, I am honored and appreciate it hugely. Let me try one thing here. I believe I have this set up, and I wanted to do this to be able to, let's see. I thought I was going to be able to, it was more than just the Streamlabs alerts. I had this thing that I wanted to do. Oh, hold on. No, it wasn't. I know that you're seeing different stuff right now. So I apologize for that, but I wanted to be able to do, okay. Let me see if I can add it to this. Let me see if I can add it to this, because I wanted to try this additional thing, which is this. And what I believe this does is it thanks all of you guys in case I forget how, or in case I forget to. So if you don't know, that's a pretty good one. If you don't know every line of Life of Brian by heart, you haven't watched it enough. Fair enough, man. That's totally cool. No worries. Take care of yourself. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate it. But here's what I wanted to see if I can get to work. I wanted to see it. What I believe this widget is called it's called Roll Credits. And let me see if I can get this to work. If you guys will just please hang on so that you can get a, so let's see. Yeah. It should, how do I get it to run though? That's what I don't know. Let me see if, no, that's not right. Hold on. Maybe it is. No, it's not working. Hold on. I know this, technically, this can absolutely work. It's absolutely possible for this to work. Oh, there we go. How about now? Yes, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let me do a little thing where you can actually see this. Right. Let me see if I can get that to do it better. How's that? Let me see if I can do something to the effect of This is what I tried to do with people that didn't super chat. What I wanted to do is I wanted this to roll and have it thank everybody. Let's see here. How about this? No, see, I tried to. Oh no, that's different. Oh wait, maybe I go over here and do it. You guys don't need to stick around for this if you don't like me. Oh, there's 22 of you now for all of the. I'm on YouTube. Woohoo! Yeah, that was the point, man. I wanted to. Wait, what? I want you to call me Loretta. I want to have babies. It's every man's right to have babies if he wants to. Yeah, nice work, right? Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. I will absolutely use. I will use your money for the smoothie, and I think I'm going to end up using. I'm going to use Johnny's money for Johnny and Single Guy for use for the massage, because that's the big cash. What were you telling me? You guys are awesome. Wrong background. Yeah, good point. I tell you what, let me do this. Let me see if I can possibly make it so that you guys can see it. Add background. How about if we hang out in my living room? Does that allow you to? There we go. I think that's a little better, isn't it? How about that? There we go. Super cool kids table mentions. Born Nomad Productions, Joe B, Single Guy for You, and Johnny Eskildson. I hope I pronounced that right, Johnny. But I also know that Joe gave me a buy me a smoothie. So I want to let you guys know that I really, really appreciate that too. And with that, it is Mike's from livemyassoff.com saying, I hope you love my living room. Saying, I hope you guys are living the dream. Because if you're not living the dream, then there's a high likelihood that when your back started hurting, you didn't take the proactive steps and tried to go get it healed with something other than handfuls of ibuprofen. I'm not going to take handfuls of ibuprofen. I'm going to go get a massage and then seek out a chiropractor with all of the wonderful money that you guys gave me in the super chats and that sort of thing. I'm honored to have you guys in my life. Thank you so much for making the Cool Kids Table what it is. And I will talk with you guys soon, potentially tomorrow. With that, happy Christmas Eve from the Big Mango, and have a wonderful Christmas, my friends. Talk to you soon. Ciao.